From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hey everybody, Rory Johnston in the OpenLine chair tonight. Welcome on a Tuesday night to News Channel 5 Plus. We're so glad you have tuned in tonight. You're settled in, kick back and watch for an hour because we have one of our favorite guests here. He's a total pro, comes in from Clarksville, drives all the way down here to the studios to spend 1 hour with us and to help you out. So we want you to call in as we welcome Kevin Kennedy here. It's Ask the Attorney Night.
Good
Always
to see you tonight, Rory, as always. Fun.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to
and
you.
Your family. And 737 Plus, guys, I'm telling you, it's a great opportunity for you. One of the best right here, can answer your questions and guide you along if you have any legal questions over the next hour. I'd say take advantage and give us a call, 737-7587. In the meantime, I know you're a pretty thoughtful, reflective guy.
Tell it.
We look back at 2014. Wow. The year flew by. I know it always does, right?
Well, you know, they've always said some of the wisest men that I ever knew from the church and schools, and they said, hold on, because your life goes by fast, and the older you get, the faster it goes. And so that conversation, we have that among many of the lawyers all the time.
Yeah.
And one of the great things I think when I look back over this year, and some I'd like to share with the viewing audience about people getting the opportunity to advance their knowledge. You know, I want them to watch the show, learn all they can, and then teach it. Heard one guy say, you know, take your trade, learn everything you can, and then give it away for the rest of your life.
Right.
Well, that was profound. But the point I was trying to make earlier was to join on some of these boards and to serve with all these smart, because you're going generation after generation. And the law, it's going to change when men's ideas and values change. But some things never change. Honesty, character, being people of your word. And if you followed those biblical principles, then many times you could avoid all the legal pitfalls that are going to befall us. And if we choose to say, well, I'm not going to pay any attention to that, then hello, come in. It won't be long before you'll be finding yourself in legal problems.
Right.
And you'll say, where is Kevin Kennedy now? And we'll be calling. So it's been a great year. I love 2014. I appreciate the show so much because we get phone calls all the time with feedbacks, and we watch your show each and every time that it comes on, and I'm very much appreciative, and I'm appreciative of the opportunity that y'all get to afford. Knowledge is power. That's
true.
I heard that when I was in the law school 30 plus years ago, and it is true. So keep filling your arsenal all the time, not necessarily for yourself, but for your family and those that you work with.
All right, let's get, wow, look at this.
Come on, load them up.
Load them up.
You breaking records,
all right.
Rory.
We got them. Let's get right to the phone calls. This is all about you tonight. We open up the lines. Let's go to Elizabeth first. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great.
Well.
I just have a quick question.
Okay.
I got some car insurance, and I changed it and got, instead of having liability, I got total, you know, to cover my whole car with comprehension, and I was told that if in the event that I have a wreck or anything like that, my deductible would be $750. Okay, when the weather came, I had developed a crack across my windshield. It was just a small crack. It's nothing big, but the insurance company is saying that it's an accident, and they want to charge me $750 deductible, and it doesn't cost that much for me to get a window. I wonder. So they're telling me that they're not going to pay for it, which, you know, I don't think it's right. But they said that my comprehension was included in my deductible. I mean, the deductible was included also for my comprehension.
Well, she makes a good question and a good point. You know, I always say a good understanding keeps down a misunderstanding. I like for people to, when they go to get their insurance, talk to their agent, bring somebody along with you. And then that's when you can ask a lot of questions. And you get a contract when you have a meeting of the minds. Now, if Rory, you were my agent, and I said, now listen, if I break my windshield, will you cover it? And you said, well, sure. But the truth of the matter, the policy, it always comes back to say, well, what were the circumstances of this crack? And I use this illustration quite often too. You know, if you had a diamond ring and you lost it, well, that's a problem. If you had a diamond ring and it was stolen, well, then your insurance might cover you. So the word to the wise tonight is to understand what the policy says, and then you know what your ramifications are,
Right.
one way or the other.
And it's difficult, the position she's in.
Right.
You know, it's frustrating.
And what we often hear is one person sells you the policy, then when you go back to that person, they say, oh no, I'm not an adjuster, you need to talk to these people.
Right.
And
this is a good point too, is when you do go to get insurance, and I think everyone should. I mean, you should.
I do too.
Should have a good policy if you can, whatever is within your means, but go to a reputable.
Tell it.
You know, talk to get referrals, talk to
Yes.
friends, people you trust. Say,
Yes.
who do you use? Who do you trust?
Yeah.
And go to someone who's been in the community for
Yes,
a while.
come
right?
on.
Yeah.
And you know, and I learned what you just said from one of the smartest businessmen I ever knew. And he said, if you really want to get something done, go with the reputable
Yeah.
group. And you know, there's also political pressure. You know, for instance, if these people are in the church, that they don't want to have all the people mad at them
Right.
if they had.
Well, you know, running
Yes.
your own law firm
Absolutely.
and being a good member of the community,
Yes.
of the business community in general, you know that your reputation is everything
Right.
you have.
And you feel good about referring. You know, if I don't sell insurance, but you and I both agree, go get some insurance.
I know exactly. I mean, I'm not going to say the person's name, but if anyone ever asks me, I know exactly who I'm going to send them to, because I'm happy, and
Right.
other people I know are happy. And yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Elizabeth, good luck to you. We wish you a very Merry Christmas. Let's go to Jerry next. Hi, Jerry.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Go
You there?
ahead now.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead, Jerry. We're listening.
Oh, yes. I was at work, and I heard at work that rotator cuff tear, and it's being repaired. I
Okay.
just wonder
Rotator
how they
cuff.
go about determining how much your settlement would be.
Okay. Well, that's a workers' comp. Every time someone's hurt on the job in Tennessee and they have more than 5 employees, they fall within the workers' comp statute. And so then it's the question on the extent of the injury. Of course, the insurance company, they'll give you an adjuster and they'll have someone assigned to you, and they will go and they say, well, we'll have this surgery and then we're going to do some physical therapy. And so we might say it's just too premature for us to give you a disability rating. And so we like to say a lot of times, everybody wants to know, we want tort reform. Remember, the last vestige of hope for the working man is his lawyer. And when the legislature gets to a point where they say, hey, we're not going to pay the lawyers, then the lawyers won't get involved, because there's risk and time, and they have so much money invested in their library. So he has a great question. There is no easy answer. And many times you may have to go see your own doctor, and their doctor may say he's got a 1% permanent disability to the body as a whole. Well, that calculates out based on his wage. But however, your doctor that you hire and pay, he comes back and he says, well, I think you have a 7%. Well, what are you going to do? Either you're going to negotiate with your lawyers, or you go and try it and the judge calls it. They say, well, okay, how's the judge going to call it? We don't really know. So that's why I always love to get a lawyer on the front end early on, let him advise you as you go, and it's a good investment. Right. In the Tennessee workers' comp, you know, the percentage is already established. So what I'd always recommend is try to talk to a lawyer. The paperwork is too complex.
Yeah, it really is.
So you just need some help to go through.
Jerry, have you gotten an attorney yet? Are you talking to someone, gotten legal advice?
Oh, yes, I already had one. I just wonder how to go about determining the final numbers on how you settle it.
Talk to the docs and talk to that lawyer. They understand the game.
Good luck to you, Jerry.
God bless you.
Thank you. Let's go to Eileen next. Hi, Eileen. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm actually calling for my granddaughter because she had to be at work at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
But what's happened is back in 2011, there was a shoplifting incident at a Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And she had nothing to do with it. But they came out and arrested her in July of 2012. And actually, they arrested her at 2 a.m. in the morning, right after she had had a baby. Her
Wow.
baby was less than 2 weeks old in 2012. Middle of the night, they knew she lived at the same address for like 6 years. They knew where she was and everything, but they waited and did it that way. And then finally, in 2014, dismissed the charges because nothing was right. The video they had that they said an employee identified her in, there was no way that was her because she has a tattoo that would have shown up in that video and it didn't show up, and it just wasn't her in the video.
Wow.
And she actually has obtained a copy from the police department over in Dixon of the video. Now, she lives in Humphreys County, though, so.
What's the legal status right now?
Right now, it's a dismissed case.
Okay.
Well, really what you have is two things. One thing jumps out.
Lost her bond money.
Yes.
Plus, while she had a felony pending, she had trouble finding a job and everything else.
Sure. Well, there's an old saying that used to say, birds of a feather flock together. Mm-hmm. So what that really means is you've got to be so sensitive of who you're associating with. And someone can easily perceive that you're with somebody at Walmart and this person steals, and they say, well, he was the lookout, and you're caught up in something that you really weren't involved in. What they have is a civil rights violation. You can be wrongfully accused, you can be wrongfully charged, you can be wrongfully tried, and so that's part of the American judicial system.
Right.
But now they took on civil liability when they did this. And again, for a mother that has a 2-week-old baby, and of course the police can come back and say, we didn't realize this, we've got a warrant, we've got a job to do, we caught you at home, that's how we operate. But all of that rubs us all wrong. And one thing about men, in their heart, they want a sense of justice and they want a sense of fairness. And if this is not right, then there are laws out there that would rectify
Well,
it.
especially the point that Eileen brings up about the problems she encountered
yes.
as a result of this, that
monetary problems, yes.
Yeah,
you
big
get
time.
charged. A lot of places will let you go without a conviction.
Eileen, thanks so much. We got to take our first break, everybody, here on Open Line, and the lines are busy, but we do have one more open line if you want to get in and get on hold. We will get to more of your phone calls. Be patient. We'll be right back with Kevin Kennedy right after this.